Hi there, welcome to my channel, your one-stop hub for discussing everything Nigeria and its development. If you have not done so before, kindly subscribe to my channel and ring the bell so that way you do not miss out on any of the contents that I share. And if you like this video, please go on and click the like button. Thank you. So today, I want us to talk about the Nigerian civil service and its role in creating the country that we have today, its contribution towards Nigeria's development or lack of development. Typically, we look at the Nigerian civil service as just one of those things that government spends money on. We see it as a means through which government creates employment, and then that's just where it practically ends. We do not look at the Nigerian civil service as what it really is, the avenue through which government can get our system to work, the avenue through which government policies and programs should be implemented for Nigeria to say that this is what it stands for. Now, if you were to ask a Nigerian if they would want to be civil servants, you would get one of two responses. You either get a God forbid, no, like, no, really? The money is so little. And to be fair, most of the ministries and departments and agencies pay really, really minimal salaries. So understandable. Or the other response you would get would be, wow, I would love to work for the Nigerian civil service because the civil servants have a lot of time to run their families, time to run their personal businesses, time to travel and just do what you want. And now it's the second response that is the reason why we have this video today. Nigerian civil servants have a lot of time. We all know it. We admire that. We love it. In short, that's the one thing that makes us want to be civil servants. But none of us ever question why they have so much time. Because most civil service organizations open at 8 and shut at 4 or 9 to 5, about that range. So why then do they seem to have more time than us who are not in the civil service? It has to be that someone isn't doing what they ought to be doing. It has to mean that something is suffering, and that thing that is suffering is Nigeria. Because the civil servants work for Nigeria. And we, the Nigerian people, we are the employers of the civil servants because it's from our taxpayers' money, that's money that you and I contribute as taxes, that they are paid. It's from resources obtained from our money obtained rather from our resources, from our collective wealth, that the civil service is run with. So as employers, we ought to know, we ought to query how our staff, how our employees are doing. But we're not doing that. We're sleeping on that duty. And it's either because we don't care or we just do not know that we should be doing that. So I'm trusting that once we're done having this conversation and then we become all aware of what we ought to be doing, that we'll begin to care enough to check. Because the Nigerian civil servants owes us a lot. Now let me give you an example of the role that civil servants should play, which they do not play, that helps to add to the mess that we have to deal with today. So let me use a Nigerian organization to create an example because I like examples. It always helps to drive home points. It creates scenarios that people can better relate with and then understand what you're talking about. So let's use this Standards Organization of Nigeria, for example, SON. Now, SON is supposed to ensure that standards are maintained in Nigeria. As a background, for every product that is produced within the country or that is imported into the country, there are certain minimum standards that must be met. And it's the work of the Standards Organization of Nigeria to ensure that those standards are met. And if they are doing what they ought to be doing, then I would just walk into a shop and buy and trust that what I'm buying is a standard product. I'm not thinking, this fridge saved me for 1 year or 6 months or 2 weeks. I would just buy because For fridges that should come into Nigeria, there's a standard to be met, and that standard ought to be ensuring that it's being met. But because they aren't, Nigerians are scared. You and I know that we're scared to shop for durables, especially because durables tend to cost more. And then you're wondering, when I take out this 150,000 naira and buy this generating set, how long will I use it for? It just might last a week. That is the kind of mess that civil servants not doing their duties cause us. And now when you look at the many different departments and ministries and agencies that we have, and the roles that they have to play, because for every facet of society, there is a ministry, there is a department, there is an agency that is supposed to ensure that they are functioning at the state level, the federal level, even at local government, their councils, or whatever they call them. They're supposed to check that things are being done right. And when they keep having as much time as they have, and we applaud them for it, and want to be them, we propagate this culture of things not being done. You know, we all know there is the police, there was the military, there was the military, they're not really civil servants, but there was the police, there was the FEMA, NAFDAC, SON, Consumer Protection Council, education boards. The list is long. And if they are doing what they ought to be doing, we have functional schools, we have better roads, we have well-equipped hospitals, we just have a society that works. And it often makes me wonder, so as civil servants, when you get your employment letter, is there an induction process? Are you told what you ought to be doing? Is there a performance measurement? Are you given targets? Because targets don't always have to be money. Are you given targets to meet? Performance targets. Targets that if you do not meet, it would affect your growth in your career path. Are there rewards that are based solely on performance? Or do you just go there and begin to just run? How does it work? If you're a civil servant, kindly help us here. Because if there's one thing that research has proven, it's that what doesn't get measured doesn't get done. So we need to create a performance-based system for our civil service. We need to urge the government to be able to monitor, create a monitoring framework that ensures that civil servants are doing what they ought to be doing, and they are punished for not doing so. And if there are disasters that arise from negligence of the public servants from doing their task, those servants ought to be punished. Like every time you find that buildings are collapsing and people are being trapped underneath, people are not doing what they ought to be doing. Because if they were doing it, you wouldn't have that. So when these buildings collapse, is someone punished? No. So we have to ensure that we create a society where people pay for not doing what they ought to be doing, and people get rewarded for doing what they ought to be doing. And even in our little corners as citizens, we all know one civil servant or the other. Let's talk to them. Let's get them to get up and go and do their work. Because until the Nigerian civil service begins to be functional, we cannot have a functional society. The civil service is very critical. We need to clean and polish our civil service to serve the Nigerian people. Thank you for listening.